Hi guys, how are you? Today I have an important guest with me, Stephanie, my workmate. She's here to talk to you guys. She has so much information to share with you. Hi, Stephanie.
Hi, Duffy. Thank you for inviting me.
Oh, it's good to see you, Stephanie. So, Stephanie, people might want to know much about you,
Oh,
but basically, I'll tell them a bit about you. Stephanie is Filipino and
yes.
she relocated recently, so I'm giving the floor to you.
Hi. So, yeah, I just relocated recently. I'm a Filipino, but then I stayed in Singapore for 6 years. Then moved to New Zealand just recently. For
Oh,
like last year, right?
yes.
Yeah.
Just a year after me, on the same date, you
oh,
started at our workplace. So
yeah.
I was really excited.
1 year after you.
Yes. So, can you share a bit about your teaching journey in the Singapore and how you moved from Philippines to Singapore, then Singapore to New Zealand?
Yes, so I moved to Singapore when I was still at 21 years old. Yes, freshly graduate. I just
Okay.
took a license exam for teachers. Then I applied in Singapore. Then just stayed there for 6 years. Yes. So after that, just have a plan to move to another place.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry if I may ask you, Stephanie, what were the reasons for you moving from Philippines
To
to
Singapore,
Singapore,
yeah.
then Singapore to New Zealand?
Yes. So when I was still in college and university, our professor, like one of the professors said that, there's a lot of job in Singapore for our early childhood teachers. But
Oh.
then initially I didn't plan to like work in other country, in other place. So when I knew about it and my friends also knew about it, so we just like plan to apply.
Okay.
Yes, and then like after applying, but it's not really like our goal to teach in other country. So we're
Okay.
just the planning. Let's see how it goes. So after that, we send out our resume. We know there's an agency that caters like this the Filipino teachers caters are applying in Singapore. So from there, the journey like become yeah, they're really smooth. So like I mean, I guess it's like um they help us going to Singapore.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's interesting. At least you had somebody encouraging you
Yes.
to move from one place to the other.
Mm-hmm.
And secondly, maybe I would like to ask you about your experiences.
Mm-hmm.
If there are any differences with teaching in Philippines, teaching in Singapore, and teaching in New Zealand.
Oh, okay. So since I was relocated in Singapore when I was in 21, I really haven't had the chance to teach in Philippines. Like um the regular employee, I only have an experience as an intern for just 6 months. So for 3 months, I teach in our university. I teach as like grade three, we're like year three in here. So then I also teach 3 months in the public schools. So those
Oh.
are the experience that I can only share. So I think if you'd ask me, it's not really like the basis of what are the difference in teaching in the Philippines because I haven't really tried to work in a long time. Yeah, so right directly I hired after graduation, so move on to other place which is Singapore.
Ah,
Yes.
wow, this is interesting. Philippines brood, Singapore experienced.
Yeah.
That's really interesting. So, how did you find or how did you navigate the job market in Singapore to New Zealand? I understand you were in Singapore for
Mm-hmm.
6 years. So, how did you navigate to New Zealand?
Okay, so it was like after 2 years in Singapore. So we're just my friends and I are thinking, oh, it would be nice to move out to other place, which is colder, because Singapore is like it's a very humid place. That it's rarely rains over there, So we're just talking about moving. So we have these three choices. It's either like Canada, Australia, and the list of the choices is New Zealand. So, but then we have the plan of it, and then COVID came, and then we are all locked down in one place. So the
Oh,
plan just like stay put, and then after that, when they're open again, my friends have other plans. Some were married, some have kids, some move out to other place, and then I just like stayed in Singapore for like maybe 2 years. After that, I recontract again, and then when I was really tired and I feel like burnout and having job in Singapore, I look at for other place. Initially, I planned and like doing masters in Australia because I think I'm so burnt out in having this job, but then I want to move to other place, but I will not go back to the Philippines, because for me I just think that I've been staying in another place for so long, so I think
mm-hmm.
it will have very big adjustments if I go back to the Philippines, which I'm not used to live anymore.
I
Yeah,
know, I know.
yeah. So like I signed up universities. I enrolled in Tasmania.
Okay.
Yes, doing masters. But then when I was doing it, this was yes year 2022. I really planned to like start my studies at mid of 2023.
Okay.
Yes. I think it's just it hit me if I move there. Oh my God, what will I gonna do? Do I have the finances to finance myself? Am I
Yes.
stable of doing it? And then I just realized, oh, why don't I move to New Zealand where I can be a teacher, and then like the salary is not that really competitive as compared to Singapore, but then the New Zealand have the tagline is work life balance. So I was just thinking,
Yeah.
okay, maybe let's just try doing it. So yeah, here I am a year
Ah,
after.
yeah, that's really interesting. Of course, from your explanation, I'll pick one question at a time.
Yes.
This leads us to the next question about qualifications.
Mm-hmm.
I understand you were moving from one place to the other.
I
Which
know.
qualifications do you hold from Philippines?
Okay, so I am a graduate of a Bachelor of Early Childhood Education. So that's the really most important qualification that you're gonna hold if you want to apply as an as a early childhood educator in another country. Yes.
Yes, yes, yes.
So the other qualifications are there's like your experience and like there's some basic stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
And I understand most bachelor's degrees in from Philippines are 4 years.
Yes, there is a
Yeah,
4 year
that's
degree.
the difference with us. Most bachelor's degrees are 3 years,
Mm-hmm.
and you have to have a diploma in education in most scenarios,
Mm-hmm.
3 years. Then you have a bachelor's degree,
Oh.
2 or 3 years. It just depends with the university. So that's really interesting. Then my next question now, you talked about being burned out in
Yeah.
Singapore. What were the main challenges that you experienced as a teacher in Singapore?
Yeah, okay. So since I was new, I was really young. I was just 21 years old, navigating life, adulthood and everything. And then, when you were so young, you were just in your 20s. I was very idealistic that time. Oh, I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
live in another place. I'm gonna live in a big city. I'm gonna live with my friends. It's gonna be a good life for me. But then when I came there, I was really like culture shock because we didn't have childcare in the Philippines. So when
Yeah.
I was already there in the center in the school. Do you know how to change nappies? Do
What's
you know you're gonna feed
that?
the children? So when I was still in the interview, of course they're gonna ask me these questions. But then, of course, you're gonna sell myself out when they ask, "Do you change nappy?" Yes, I do.
Definitely.
Yeah, you're gonna say yes, I do. I have siblings. I do change them. I take care
Mm-hmm.
of them. I feed with them. But that's the thing. I didn't realize that I'm gonna face a job that I'm gonna change like 20 nappies. I'm gonna feed 20 kids at the same time.
Yeah.
So it's a really different thing. And then on top of that, they're gonna have curriculum, a different curriculum, which is like teacher
Yeah.
directed. Yeah, so like you are teaching, you are taking care of them, you are having a routine. So it's just like everything coming all at once.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And then I was already there, so I didn't want to give up. I want to just do my best to like step up and like get it all together, get a hold of myself.
After
Like,
all, money was involved. A
yeah.
lot of it.
Yes, really, a lot of it. Big sum of money.
Yeah.
Yeah. So over the time, I heard someone says like, "Oh, over the time you're gonna get a hold of it. It's gonna be okay. You didn't know how to do it already." But then I realized over the time the curriculum changes, the kids changes, the behavior changes. You have
Yes.
different parents in a different year. It's not the same parent the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and then I really had this accident in our class, and then it really like a turning point in my career in Singapore that
Wow.
I really wanna move out because
Oh.
yeah, I have a child that he falls down with a at the back. Yes. So when he falls down, he was okay. He was just crying. I was hugging him. I was doing a first aid and check his head, no bump or everything. And then while I'm putting a ice pack on his head, he just suddenly collapsed. So I mean, if you have in that
Um,
situation, the first thing that came in
yeah.
your mind, oh my God, what if you have or like a blood,
A
and
death.
then yeah, like a brain
Yeah.
hemorrhage or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that I was really scared at the time. I think I was screaming, I was crying.
Yeah.
Yes, so I mean, God is good. It turned out he just fainted because we were having like a very intense dancing, like music and movement, and then
Mm-hmm.
suddenly he had a fall. So it's just like, and the blood circulation maybe it's not really circulating well. So yeah, that's it. But then for me, it's like I was just reflecting. It says I am young. I've been doing this since I was 21, and
Yeah.
then I'm taking care of a lot of kids that's not even mine. What happened? What will happen if one of them like hurt or there's an accident? So the blame is on me because I'm a teacher, even if I didn't do anything. Because the first reason that
Yes.
was is, where are you? Why you didn't stop? So I was just like, I need to take a break because I love the kids. I am happy when I'm teaching them, but then the responsibility of taking care of any other kids and that's not yours is
It's
like,
so
yeah,
hard.
it's so hard and it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's a burden for me at that time. Yeah, so
Yeah, it should have been very traumatic, and you don't know
very.
how the parents will react. But
Mm-hmm.
however, since it was your turning point, it was your movement
Yeah.
moment. Now, will you tell me if there are any differences between the Singapore teaching culture and the New Zealand teaching culture?
Oh, okay. That's a really interesting one because, yeah, as I said, when I came to Singapore, I have a culture shock. When I came to New Zealand, I am also culture shock.
Yeah.
Because, yes, I've been teaching like a teacher directed curriculum in Singapore. And then when I came to New Zealand, it's all play based. Like, we don't sit together and then I don't teach a thing. I'll just supervise them because it's all play based. The
Yes.
curriculum is based on another thing. So that's a culture shock. But then, if you would ask me, I think it would be better to experience the play based thing rather than I mean the teacher directed because the kids are like they can explore more from what I've
Yes.
been experiencing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think I also adore this curriculum because you really see them exploring,
Yeah.
doing more than you even thought as the teacher. So I
Yes.
think observing them is really interesting. So maybe if I ask from the Singapore, how did you move? Was it visa based, employer based? How did you do it to come to New Zealand?
Oh, okay. So in Singapore, since I um, have a final decision of moving here, looking for a job. I've been searching for a lot. I'm searching in Google, I'm searching in YouTube, I'm searching in TikTok. TikTok is the easiest way now to find answers. So I've been looking for someone, like looking for a hint what to do because I want to do it DIY, do it on my own. Because for me, I don't want to pay in an agency for someone
Yes.
to look for a job for me or to do
The
my work.
Filipino in you.
Yeah, yes, because I think, oh, I've done this before, so maybe now that I have like grown up, I can do it myself. Yeah, so I was just looking. I've read a lot. I've searched a lot of time. Yeah, and then there is one teacher I came across in her video in TikTok, and then she talked about New Zealand, and then what coincidentally is that teacher is a friend from a flatmates where I used to stay. So they're like
Ah.
referring. She's referring me to her friend. So
Yes.
so from there, I keep on asking her what to do. She laid out all the steps to what to do in applying, what are the papers that I need to prepare, everything. And then she have an agent, but this agent doesn't require payment. He is the only one, just like Elias um to the employer to
All
as yeah,
right.
he's just looking for the employer to asking you to for interview. But then I'm gonna do all the work. I'm gonna file all the paperwork, I'm gonna do the exam, I'm gonna apply the visa and everything. Yes.
Yeah,
So
I think it's the same thing. And maybe just to let you guys know, the agents in New Zealand won't make you pay,
yes.
especially if you wish to come to New Zealand as a teacher. For example, you can use EP Education, you can use Candidex.
Yes.
Those agencies really helped us to relocate and find ourselves here in New Zealand.
Oh, if you mentioned Candidex, yeah, I have Candidex.
Sam.
Yeah. They're really a
I
big help.
know, I know.
Yeah.
He really helped a lot of people from Philippines, from Zimbabwe, and we testify that those companies are really good.
Yes.
Then, how about the financial aspect? I think it was okay on your end because already where you were coming from, you were getting better than those guys in Philippines or those guys in Africa. Because right now we are talking to the people in Philippines and the people in Africa who don't know how it really goes to move. But basically, around how much did you use to relocate to New Zealand?
Okay. Oh, the relocation is. I've heard a lot that it's not really that much from like okay, I base it in the Singapore money. Usually they have it like 3,000 to 4,000 Singapore dollars. But
Alright.
in my end, because I retake English exam twice.
Oh.
Yes, so your papers you're gonna have someone from the attorney to notary it.
Yes.
Yes, to like certify that it's all true, it's all verified. So most of them do it in the Philippines, which is way cheaper than you doing it in Singapore. But then I didn't have time to go back home, so I did it in Singapore. So from that I spent more. Yes.
Yeah.
And then the most expensive thing is my flight ticket because I booked 2 days later than my flight.
Oh.
Yeah, so it was just around $2,000. So if I count it all together, maybe the cost would be like seven, six.
Ah.
Yes.
So tell me more about the relocation
Six
grant where you
Singapore dollars.
reinvest because people want to know. They just
Yeah.
hear about the relocation grant where you reinvest all the expenses.
Yes, I know. Yes, I am reimbursed 100%. I have reimbursed of 10,000 NCD.
Wow.
I'm just so glad
guys,
about-
don't say I don't have money because when you relocate to New Zealand, everything is reimbursed. Maybe except of 2 retakes of English, they just pay for one. Yes. But it's still okay. That retake is okay because it takes us where we are.
Yes.
Yeah. So maybe probably tell me, do you like working in New Zealand or you prefer going back to Singapore?
Yeah. Well, I like the work in New Zealand. I like their curriculums. I like the people in my center. I like my center manager. I like my
Yes.
friends.
Yeah.
Yes. I like the company that I have in New Zealand, but I misses I miss Singapore, but not the work there. I just miss the place. I just miss the people that I left there. But then the work and life balance, which I've been like, that's the initial goal that I wanna know if it's really real. Yes, it's real.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
but then yeah, I think New Zealand is good if you have someone here, like your family. Yeah,
Yes.
or your friends.
Mm-hmm. You are right.
Yeah.
And I also found it so hard
Mm-hmm.
to be alone. Of
Yeah.
course, I had my sister, but uh, that other part wasn't filling up.
Mm-hmm.
The kids were home, my husband was home. I also found it really, really hard.
Yeah.
Then, which kind of support systems do you need, or are you still yearning for, so that you would find New Zealand interesting?
Yeah, probably like circle that I most comfortable with, a circle that I get in touch like most of the time, to hang
Mm-hmm.
out most of the time. But then I'm so thankful with you, Taffy, and the other friends at work, because you've been like asking how I've been, inviting me, and then I really feel grateful for you
Mm-hmm.
guys. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I moved here alone, and I really didn't think it's gonna be hard. Well, maybe at the back of my mind it's gonna be hard, but I didn't know it's this hard, because I feel like it's hard to find friends
Yes.
when you get older.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
So, when you're talking about the workmates, I just want to tell you one experience that I had. So, when I joined our workplace, I was like, I don't go out, I don't do anything. I was always sad. So, at one point, I broke down at work.
Oh.
And, Carl telling her to say, Taffy, we are going out with you today. I was like, no, I'm not going out. And they had to drive me. Yeah, I had my car, but they followed behind me. Then they said, we are not leaving you. And I felt really guilty. So I joined them in the car. Do you know what time I got back home?
What?
It was 2 a.m. in the morning. So, that's the kind of workplace we are in.
Yes.
It's really, really interesting, and it's a very good one. So, yeah, maybe one more question about the support systems. Like, so are you saying being away from home or missing your circles is really painful? What is really painful between the two?
Yeah. I think it's not painful, but then there's like an empty space in your heart that
Yes.
I I am really an outgoing person in Singapore. I used to go out at night. I used to go out on the weekends, and then going back home very late.
Uh-huh.
Yes, and then when I move up here, it's like everything is shut off, because I didn't know
Yeah.
anybody here. I didn't know how to drive, and then like yeah,
Um,
it's not really painful, but sometimes I do think, oh, it would be nice if I experience this thing together with my friends.
yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes. So are your friends planning to come to New Zealand, or you are
Yeah.
planning to join them somewhere?
Yeah, I mean, there's a plan that some of them are coming here, but I'm not really sure if they're gonna like execute the plan. They're gonna do something about it.
Yes, yes, yeah,
Ah,
because definitely we have different opinions.
yes.
After you move, you share your experiences,
Mm.
and someone will make a decision based on your experiences as well.
Yeah.
So people are always saying life is hard. Okay,
Mm.
life is expensive in New Zealand.
Yes.
Comparing to Philippines, comparing to Singapore, what would you say about the expensive lifestyle in New Zealand?
Um, yeah, I think I would agree that as it is expensive, but I think it also depends on how you budget your like money, how you budget in a like in a month. So there are stuffs that expensive here, and there are other stuffs that expensive. it just depends on how you budget things. But then another thing is, yeah, New Zealand is like a laid back country. So if you want to send money to like hometown, so for me, it's the way I came is from Singapore, so it's have a higher exchange rate when I send money to the Philippines compared to New Zealand. So it's just like maybe cutting off some of the expenses. Yes,
Yes.
cutting off most of my shopping and then put it something good. Put the money in something good.
Yes,
Yeah.
how you use it is how it makes sense.
Yes,
Because
that's right.
definitely, if you want it flashy, you won't make it because it's just for a normal life, just to
Yes.
have a normal living. That's all we need. Unlike back home, it was really hard. Sometimes you find it hard to go to the hospital. Sometimes you find it very hard to get a teacher in the classroom. This is all bad that was we were experienced. But yeah, we are experiencing the best, better than what we had home.
Yes.
Okay, so probably if I may ask Stephanie, maybe one or two things that you
Yes.
would like to advise the Philippines or the Filipinos who, and the Africans.
Yeah.
Remember, we are representing the
Yeah,
Africans
yeah,
and the
the
Filipinos. So what would you tell them about relocating from either Philippines or New Zealand?
Okay, so I mean, I know Philippines are not having its best right now, and I'm not living there for so long already. But my parents are there, my other family members are there, so I know how life is there right now, and I'm not really sure about Africa. So
It's the same.
oh,
It's the
the
same.
same thing. So I mean, relocating, it's a big and hard work to do, but then I mean, it's worth it if you have a family and you really think of the future of your kids. I mean, for yourself also, because definitely New Zealand have not really the best, but have the most, like, I mean, the things they can offer than the Philippines. Yeah, so it's like, um, it's maybe hard to relocate, but it's for the better, and then it's for the future.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. You know, I always think of professional growth.
Yes.
I also think of the resourcing that we are using. I know for you guys from Singapore, you had better resources than in Philippines. Unlike us, I came straight from Africa. I adore the resources. I adore the teaching style. I adore the money. I adore the environment. Everything is superb for me. I also adore the people around me,
Yeah.
including you, because you make it so easy and so special. So I think moving from Africa, moving from Philippines is a good thing if you know your aim. I think we just have
Yes.
to have the objective broken down into small pieces and so that it can be achievable.
Yes, I think that's really right. Because yeah, you move out not just the sake of like moving away. You need to have a goal. Why you moving out?
Yes, not
'Cause-
because everybody's doing it.
Yes, you're right. Not because if not a trend, it's not like you're gonna use to do it because gonna do it.
Yes, yes, you're right. So, thank you very much, Stephanie, for this beautiful insight. I hope our video will help you relocate from wherever you are. Of course, it's the Filipinos and Zimbabweans representing their countries, but you can still do it from wherever you are.
Yes.
Hope to see you again in our next video.
Thank you for having me,
Bye.